Okay, good morning. I want to welcome everybody here. This is the Superintendent of Elections training for the machines. We're going to show you how to open the machine, close the machine, how to vote on the machine, maybe a couple little problems in the morning that we'll be able to help you figure out. So what I want to do is get started, and the first thing I want you to do is when you come in at 5:15 in the morning, what you have to understand is your machine looks like this, and you got to set it up. What you have to understand also is that when you leave at night, the last thing you do is get this machine back into this position, and it must be in this position because the truckers need to get it on the truck, and they need to rope them down. So please, make sure it looks like this when you leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the first thing that we want you to do at 5:15 in the morning is to get the plug and plug it into the wall. The plug is right here on the side. You'll pull it out, plug it into the wall. If for some reason you cannot get a second machine into the plug in the wall or the third machine, what you can do is there's two plugs right here that you can plug into this machine. Okay? Then the next thing we need is you're going to be carrying in, someone's going to be carrying in your supplies. A big blue bag that has all of your work stuff for the day. In that blue bag, you're going to have a key envelope for the machine. And this key envelope says this is for 22666. And that number's right here, and it's on the other side of the machine. So that if you have more than one machine, you know that the keys are right. You're going to take the keys out. And there's two keys on this key ring. And it also, the key ring is identification, and it has a machine number on it. You have what we call the yellow key. The yellow key opens the back door, locks the back door. The silver key opens the pulls and closes the pulls. So what we want you to do first is take the yellow key, goes in upside down, open the back door, open it up, and one machine is going to have different things in it here. What we want you to do is take your operator panel, lift it straight up, and place it on the side. You'll go place on that side, or you can place on this side, whichever side is easiest for you to use. And then we need you to turn the power on. There's a button, a red and black button, and there's a little yellow slot right there. It only turns that quarter turn, and that turns the machine on. This is a computer. It's going to take a few minutes to boot up and get ready. While it's getting ready, the operator panel is going to go and tell you different things that it's going through. This operator panel is talking to the machine. It's talking to this cartridge, and it's talking to the information inside. If for some reason, while it's going through, you hear this ring loud like a telephone, it's indicating that something went wrong with the machine. You need to come over here and look on the operator panel and call us to see what happened. If you don't have all of your paperwork out as yet, but you need to call us because the machine's not working, we need you to take this black bag out and put it up on top. And then we need you to bring your emergency ballot box out. And on that emergency ballot box on the bottom here is our telephone number. You call that number, one of us will be there to answer your call, and we will help you get it back online. That emergency ballot box gets hung on the door. Just gets hung, and it'll be this way all day. That's the way you'll see it. Emergency ballots are different than provisional ballots, and please understand the difference. provisional ballots are, if you come in and you're not listed in the book, you need a provisional ballot. If something goes wrong during the day with the machine, before you issue emergency ballots, you must call our office. We will tell you when to do that. We have 10 minutes to get to your polling place to see if we can fix the machine before you issue emergency ballots. We will let you know to open the emergency ballots because we can't get your machine fixed for the people that are waiting. Also in the back of the machine, you have a district sign. They need to be posted, especially in places that have more than one polling place in them. You need to have that district sign out and visible for people that come in. You also have in the back of the machine a privacy screen. Privacy screen you set up on the table, off to the side, on the table, so that if someone does need to fill out a provisional ballot or fill out an emergency ballot, they go behind that screen and no one can see how they're voting. Okay, and they'll go behind this screen and they'll fill that out. So while we're in the back of the machine, we'll do most of the opening of the back. Okay? So the next thing we want you to do, and this is the hardest thing that we ask you to do all day long, and that's get the curtain out of the machine. Okay? And that's, the curtain is in this tube here, and you need to push these buttons in and pop that cap off and pull the curtain out. If for some reason your fingers can't get in there and get that button pushed in, you have pens and pencils in your bag, just take a pen and push that in and then that will pop off. While we're waiting for the machine to go, we're going to open up the front. Just flip the machine around. And lift this tub up. Now, I want to caution you that the tub is hard and heavy. So if you think you need to have someone help you, you have one person there and one person here. Lift that tub up and don't pull the handle, just the tub. Halfway up, if you get tired, let the tub go, and that tub will stay here. As long as you're not holding this handle, as soon as you pull this handle, the tub will drop. So put it the rest of the way up, and then it stops there. It can go no further. Once you're there, you take that red handle, pull it back, and let it lean back on the tub. That must be at an angle like that. Then we tell you to break that yellow seal. Now this is nothing to do with the election, as it's only protection for the doors when the truckers are moving it. You can throw that away. A lot of people don't want to throw anything away that belongs to the election. Put it in your blue bag, we'll take care of it. Then you have 3 doors open. You need to turn the knob. Door 1 goes out. Door 2 goes out, and it goes out all the way. And then door 3 lifts up. When that lifts up, there's 2 little grommets here that holds this up. Okay? And then you unroll your curtain. Just unroll, and it's going to go into a U shape with the arm. Roll. When you get it unrolled, there's 2 arms that are going to come out, and it's going to go into more or less like a U shape. And these two arms go into the holes right here on the door. You just put one in, put the other one in, and this is how your machine's going to look all day. People are going to come up, they're going to sign in at the table. Someone's going to be working on the side of the machine to collect the voting authority. When they collect the voting authority, you can go in, just move the curtain aside, go in, vote, and then just move the curtain aside to come out. We're going to take this curtain down and roll it up so that we can show you how to vote. We'll just roll it back. So now we're at 5:55. Polling places open at 6. So now what you need to do is get your keys. Now you're going to open the polls. To open the polls, you're going to take your silver key, put it in the lock right here next to where you turned it on, and turn it, that little yellow spot, to the left. Okay? And within 10 seconds or so, your printer's going to start printing a report. This report is what's called the zero proof report. What's on this report is every office and every candidate that's on the front of the machine. On the very right of, next to all the candidates are all zeros, indicating that there are no votes for any candidate on the machine before you start. Once that's done printing, everyone must sign it. Every poll worker that's there must sign this report. Now, sometimes the printer doesn't print as neat as this is. Sometimes the paper doesn't come out, and when you're looking at it this way, this is very good. But sometimes it prints over the name before it. If that happens, what we ask you to do is just take this paper from the top and just tug on it a little bit, move it up. The paper's not moving up far enough. And as you tug it, it'll come up all the way like it's supposed to. And if you need to print another one, you'll take and you'll hit the print more button. And that'll start printing another one. And as you're pulling this up, your next report's going to be printed exactly neat as you want it. Just all you need to do is just give it a little pull, and you'll feel each line when it prints, it moves up. And your zero proof report is going to be absolutely the way you want it. If for some reason it does not come out of the printer, you need to call our office. I'll have a technician come out right away and get that paper roll, so the paper roll is jammed into the machine. While that's printing, on your key envelope are some numbers that you need to check. Every machine comes out and it has a green seal number on it. That green seal is on the emergency ballot box, and there's a number on that seal, and it's on your key envelope. We ask you to check that. There's a white seal number on here that we ask you to check. That white seal is on your cartridge. That's sealed into the machine. We ask you to check that also. And then there's a provisional protective counter number. The protective counter number is right here. This one says 1318. We never turn that number back. There's another number over here on the other side that says 0. That number will tell you how many people have voted during the day. This number here, this 1318, means that there's 1,318 people that have voted on this machine since we've had it. If, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something happens to your machine, we have to come out and check it. We'll take this number, this 1318 has moved up to 1418, which is 100 people. This number over here should be 100. We look at your voting authorities to make sure that you're at 100 voting authorities. That's just a check on everything. If for some reason this doesn't say 100, or you haven't used your voting machines right, we'll be able to tell that. So now that we have this all printed out, and all the zeros are there, and all of the poll workers must sign this, everyone that's working, and these go into your blue bag. The blue bag has a plastic window in it, and all your printouts go into the plastic part of the bag. So now it's 6 o'clock. You need to take and lock this door so that it's not open during the day. Okay, this is a training machine, so we leave it open because we have to get in and out of it. So we're going to go turn back around. And hold on a second. Now you're ready for your first voter. The person goes into the table, looks at or tells the person their name. They sign the voting authority, print it on the voting authority. They come over and give the voting authority to Dave. And Dave, once he gets the voting authority, must activate this machine because the machine is not on. Anyone can go into this machine right now and touch any key that they want, and there's nothing on there that they can do. Nothing's going to work. So Dave activates the machine, and the light goes on up top, and X's go on the offices. Those X's are not votes. They are indicating the offices that you can vote for. On U.S. President, it says vote for 1, just hit 1 vote. Once you hit it, the X goes on the person you voted for. The name is down here, indicating who you voted for, and the X goes off of the office. On the next office, it says vote for 2, but now you only voted for 1, so that X will stay there until he puts his second vote on, right? And then on the third office, it's vote for 1. And then also on the question, yes or no, you'll hit yes or no, and then all the X's are off, and this is how they voted. The opportunity for you while you're in that machine is for you to change your mind, and you're allowed to do that. You can take these 2 votes out, put 1 over here, 1 over there. You can do that until you're sure that's how you want to vote. And then you'll hit your cast a vote button, and your vote will go into the machine. So here's what happens. The next person comes up, Dave activates the machine, and he wants none of the people that are running for president or any office on this machine is the person you want to vote for. You just came from the bar and your buddy down there, and you just want to put his name in. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit what's writing or personal choice, and once you do that, you have to write the name of the person in on the keyboard. And until you do, you've locked this machine out. And we've had several times where I had to send a technician out that was blinking, and they didn't know what was wrong with the machine. It was blinking because somebody activated the write-in but didn't finish it. And if you want to do that, and if you did it by mistake, you could take that back out and then vote. But if you're going to write a name in, that's blinking. You put a name in, Bob. And once you put the name in, then you hit enter. Now, that's not blinking, that's solid. And no way can you change that now. It's not going to let you change it. So, you cast the vote button, and that write-in will go in. Other things that we find out during the day. You activate the machine, person goes in the machine with the curtain, and the person out there is always looking, and for some reason, they see the activation to vote is there, but they look and there's no feed in the machine, and the person has to go and look, and they realize that the person has left. You have to go and check the polling place, look out front to see if you could find that voter. If you haven't found a voter, the thing we ask you to do, and we'll say that voter voted. You put all the keys down that he wanted, but his back was to the cast the vote button, but you can't find that voter is gone. All you need to do is come in, do not go in the machine, reach underneath, and you cast that vote the way the voter put it on there. There's no reason for you to go in the machine, so you can get the machine ready. Again, we'll do the same thing. You activate the machine, voter goes in the machine, but he decides that he don't feel like voting for nobody. So he parts the curtain and leaves the polling place. And the person underneath said, well, that's not a problem. I look for him, he's not around. I'm gonna hit the button, and now nothing happened. Now you must take one of your Republicans and one of your Democrats, look inside the machine, and you'll see that that voter did not vote. The only thing that you can do is bring up the next voter and let them go in the machine and vote. So here's what you have. That voter votes and leaves. You've activated the machine once, but you had two people in the machine. On the voting authority and in the book, you have to write down voter fled. That's a fleeing voter. So that if when I said we come in and we check the numbers, and I say, well, you're one off, you can say, well, I had a fleeing voter, it's on the voting authority. The one person didn't vote, the second person went in the machine and voted. That brings your numbers to where they're supposed to be. Okay? So, now it's 8 o'clock at night. If there's people waiting to vote, if there's people waiting to sign the book, or people waiting to sign the machine, or get in and vote the machine, if those people were in line before 8 o'clock, they must be allowed to vote. So you have to go through all of your procedures to let all those people go through. But the last voter in line is a handicapped voter, and that voter needs to use the equipment. I want to show you this. On the back of your machine, you have this black bag. And in the black bag, we have these devices. Turn around. All the way down the front. Back. You unroll these, right? And get that chair over there. Let me just get that chair so how it works. You're gonna get that chair and put it in the machine, in the curtain. And you're gonna hand that person this device. On this device, there is a button, yellow button, and a blue button. Underneath there is, they can tell if they're blind, their rating is on there. The next thing you're going to do is give that person a headset. Put that on. And then this gets plugged in to the device. On the operator panel, you have what we call a test button. To help this person vote, you're going to hit test once, twice. And it's going to say enable audio voting, and it's going to say activate. You're going to hit the green button. Now that you've hit the green button and you activated the audio, I'm not going to activate it. You're going to now hit it and activate it so that they can vote. Once you hit the green button again, the voter is going to hear that they are in Mercer County, Hamilton, wherever, whatever district, and they are going to be voting in the general election. And to hear your choices, it's going to read the offices, and it's going to read the candidates in each office. If they understand what's going on, what it tells you to do each time is to hit the round red button. That round red button is like, okay, yeah, you can go further. So it'll take you into the first office, and it'll say President for the United States, and it'll give a list of all the names of everyone that's voting. And then it will tell you to hit the next button once, and it'll tell them the names one at a time. When they hear the person's name that they want to vote for, they hit the red button, and it will say you have voted this office. And it'll tell you how to go to the next office and continue down. When you voted the entire machine, it'll say you have voted every office. You have voted for president, so-and-so, voted for sheriff, so-and-so. If you're satisfied with your vote, hit the round red button, and you'll hear this click and ring, just like a voter hit the cast a vote button, and you'll know that person's done. Okay? So when that person is done, your machine now, your machine now is back into regular voting. It goes back automatically. Okay, so now we said it was 8 o'clock. Now we're going to close the machine up. So one person, you have 4 people working, one person's going to close the front, one person's going to close the back. What you need to do is go in your blue bag, get your key envelope out, and person in the back is going to take that key envelope out of the envelope, and it's going to put the key in and close the bolt. And you're going to turn it that little yellow spot. And once you do that, you'll hear that beep. Within about 10-15 seconds, printer starts printing. You're going to get all your results. In the morning, each machine gave you 1 report, 1 zero proof report. At night, you're going to get 4 zero proof reports, or 4 results reports. The 4 reports are just going to print off like a register as you would go shopping. It's just going to keep printing until it's done. What we ask you to do when you see the end of the ballot and the beginning of the next ballot, where the people have signed, while this is printing, please do not turn your machine off. Do not pull that cartridge. That cartridge is telling the printer what to print. People pull the cartridge and then they call and they say, well, something happened. Yes, something did happen. You pulled that cartridge and it doesn't have the information it needs to print. So don't touch that cartridge at all. When this gets down to the end, and you see where you're supposed to sign it, it's going to print more. Now this isn't printing, this is in training, so it's only going to print one. We ask you to pull the first one off. This first report goes over on the table because you're going to have people and you could have candidates, you could have challengers, you could have the public in your polling place at night that are going to want counts. They get the counts off of this one. You're going to put it on the table out of your way. They do not come back to your machine and bother you. They get this report and the rest, when they print out, you need to sign them all three, and they go in your bag. This report on your table is public information. If it makes you nervous when you're leaving at night, if you want to take it with you, that's fine. You want to put it in your blue bag, it's okay. Understand that this is public information and it's probably on TV before you get home. This is all counts that the candidates need. This is why, if you're watching voting results, this is where all this comes from. So that's done. So now that you know it's all done printing in the back, now you can pull your key out, and now you can turn your power off. Now we need you to turn that power off before you pull this cartridge out. You break this white seal off. Again, if you don't want to throw that in the trash, you can put it in the blue bag, we will take care of it. Now you can pull the cartridge out because there's no power in the machine and it will not create a static. It will not create electricity because a lot of times it'll wipe the information out that's on there. You push the button down, there's a button on top, and that'll pull right out, and you'll put that cartridge in the blue bag that's provided in your, with your supplies. Now you can take and rehang your operator panel. Please make sure you hang that on the side, okay? And in here, next to your printer, we have a red seal. No, we won't close it up. So you're gonna close the three doors like you did before. You're gonna lift the door up and drop it down. Then you're gonna do this door this way, then you go over, and then that turns and locks, and now you're gonna put this seal on. It goes through two holes. There's a hole in the knob, straight up, there you go. And then there's a bracket that it must go through, and then you put that in there to set it. Okay? And then the tub must be put down. You pull that handle back, and as long as you pull that handle back, it'll go straight down like it's supposed to. Now you're going to finish closing up the back. You're going to put your curtain back inside. Put your district sign and your pragmacy screen back in. Emergency ballot box goes on the bottom. And now your black bag gets squeezed right in on top. Just squeeze it in. And now you're going to lock your doors. Now everything that you did all day, this goes in the blue bag, this goes in the blue bag, keys go back in the key envelope, all of your paperwork, all the voting authorities, used and unused, all your books, everything goes back in the blue bag and comes back to wherever municipality you're working. And thank you so much, and hope to see you in class.